And I would like to give you an example in history. What is the impact when Muslims are united? We know that the 34th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, his name was Sultan Abdul Hameed II. He was the last Sultan which actually had powers. He was the third last Sultan. There were two Sultans after that, but the person who had some power and say, after that it kept on deteriorating. He was the third last Sultan, but the last Sultan which actually had powers. And we know that he ruled from 1876 to 1909. In his reign, towards the end of the 19th century, in late 1800, there was a comedy play that was supposed to be held in France on our beloved Prophet Muhammad. It was a satire, a comedy play insulting a prophet. And when Sultan Abdul Hameed II heard about this, he got very angry and he wrote a strong letter to the French government saying that this is not tolerated by the Muslims and you should not let this play take place, and I'm totally against it. Initially, the French government tried to give excuses, but they realized that the Sultan was serious. And what did they do? They immediately did not allow this play to take place. And they completely abolished the comedy play, to the extent that most of the actors and the people involved, they exiled them to UK to please the Sultan. Few years later, again news came that the same play is going to take place in UK. So again, Sultan Abdul Hameed II, he got angry and he wrote a similar letter to the UK government that we have heard that there is a play which is criticizing the Prophet and this is not tolerated in Islam, and you should immediately see to it that this play doesn't take place. The UK government, the British government replies, when Sultan said that this was happening in France and now it's coming in UK, it should not happen, and they stopped it, you should stop it too. The UK government replies saying, UK is not France and we believe in freedom of speech, indicating that they will continue with the play. Sultan Abdul Hameed gets very angry and he writes a second letter. He says, you may not be aware that my ancestors, they gave their life for the cause of Islam, and I am prepared to do the same. If you do not stop this play, see to it it is not done, I will inform the full Muslim world that you are doing a play against the Prophet and you will be held responsible for the consequences. Then the British government realized that the Sultan was serious, and they were so much afraid of the Muslim unity that time that they immediately banned the play. Imagine, one Sultan says that. Because that time, if you know, it was the end of the Ottoman Empire. That means the last, it wasn't that powerful at all. Yet, just because the Sultan gave a warning, I'll inform the full Muslim world that they're doing a play which is against the Prophet and you will be held responsible for the consequences. That letter was sufficient to bring shivers in the full government. Imagine. At that time, end of the 19th century, you know, the UK government, the France government, they were powerful. That colonies in so many parts of the world, they were even ruling India. But the Sultan writes a letter at that time, even though it's towards the end of the Ottoman Empire, yet they are afraid. And today, we hardly see any Muslim leader speaking. Just 1, 2, 3, or yes, a few here and there. But they are speaking individually. Imagine if all the Muslim leaders in the world, even half of them, get together and give a warning. There will be a world of a difference. Today, the Muslim leaders are more involved. Will it benefit me? Will it not benefit me? Will I remain in power? Will I not remain in power? They are more bothered about their seat here. They are not bothered about the akhirah at all. Imagine, our beloved Prophet said, anyone who does not love Allah and His Messenger more than he loves himself, loves his father, loves his children. He is not a mu'min. How can we Muslims keep quiet when someone is blaspheming against a prophet? What has happened to the Muslim Ummah? That's the reason when I gave my actions, the lower actions are mainly for the common man. And see this example that the Muslims are united. What an example. Even though towards the end,